Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to what the hell? Evolution of a village. I think birch wood textures got screwy. Um, this is what happens when you play in a snapshot, guys. Yeah, it's birch. Um, hopefully nothing else is that screwy. So anyway, I am actually playing this on my birthday, or recording this episode on my birthday, but only by the strictest legal definition of my birthday, which is May the 3rd. You're seeing this on Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you. So that's the little, blessing. Um, I'm just going to talk about a bunch of random things, and part of the reason why I'm doing this, I'll get to in later on today in this episode, which this may be a bit longer. So I'm going to tour the path that I built up to the keep and show you some of the progress. I have added like 2 or 3 houses. I actually don't remember how many I've added to the village, and I've added this path as well. Um, so part of the reason why I'm recording this a day early is because number one, I have the time, and number two, I'm actually going on a date tomorrow. Um, yeah, so yeah, that birch is gonna annoy me. So those of you who've been on my channel for a while know that I had a relationship end over the Christmas holiday, um, and that really took a hit on me. So you guys can imagine how I feel with the fact that I could be getting into another one. So I mean, I'm ecstatic. I mean, the only bad thing is she's a Jets fan, but live and let live. It's the only negative thing I can say about her, and So what I did with this path is over there I put a lot of switchbacks. I'm probably going to flatten this part out because that's something that would realistically happen. Up here I can't really do that, so I tried to make it go as far as I could without going up this steep section. I tried to keep the steeper section as level as possible. And when you get up to here, this is just the entryway into the keep, and it's pretty flat, and you get up here and it's a little bit narrower, but it's not that big a deal. And I was really thrilled when I saw this, and I'll show you in just a second here why I was thrilled. Um, so you enter here. This is going to be the actual barbican of the keep, though, which is really going to be the only major defensive feature, at least that I have planned out. I think I'm going to add in a few turrets every now and then, like maybe here I'm going to put one. I'm tempted to put a turret or two here, though maybe or maybe not. It really depends. I'm probably going to put one, maybe not here. So yeah, it's going to be, I'm probably just going to put a big turret here. I don't think I'm going to have one in the Great Hall. So yeah, like I said, this is just primarily, it's a keep, but this keep is almost purely a palace because that's just how we roll. Well, also, so what I've done is I've taken the Great Hall up since the last time you saw this, as well as kind of designed the Barbican. I'm tempted to actually make this a little bit higher. That way, when you're down here and here, you can't touch this. But in reality, that wouldn't happen. Those would be forced open. So maybe I could change those to iron. What do the iron ones look like? Actually curious. I'm thinking I'm going to use the iron ones for this. I'll leave those because these are still going to be useful. Unfortunately, this means I will need a lever to make this work, but I don't think that's that big of an issue. Whoops. If I put one there, will that work? No. Why won't this work? Okay, that is a little confusing. Why won't the iron... Why won't it work? Okay. Okay. Oh, so it has to be on the exact same block. So if I put this here, that works. There we go. So unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to do it like... do it. Wow, I amuse myself. Okay, so it's going to be like that. Awesome. And that's perfectly fine, actually. That works a lot better. That way people below can't turn it on or off. Okay, that makes that a little bit more effective. Let's grab my slabs, because these are going to be my stairs up. Okay. And I'm doing them in this design because I think it looks the best. And all I'm doing is making giant L's. Atlanta says, "Here, hold my L." Wow, I'm a horrible person. Okay, there's the L. Oh, and that is absolutely perfect. I knew I designed that correctly because there's an arrow slit that if you were quick, you noticed. If you weren't, you didn't. And now I just have to ensure that this is at the exact same level. So here. Though I think it will be, all things considered. Well, it doesn't have to be at the exact same level when it can be, you know, just one lower. And that works. Sweet. So that's one stairwell up. And believe it or not, this is going to be an entirely separate section of the keep. And there's a reason for that. So this section is going to be completely separated, at least with iron doors, to ensure that... Did I lose my stairs? I think I lost my stairs. Well, that's a crying shame. There we go. Like, how do you lose? Well, that would explain it. It gave me 2 grass blocks. Ugh. Unfortunately, I can't revert this, so I'm going to have to wait until an actual release version. Let me check the birch logs. Just because... Oh, crap. I just lost the lever, which I'm going to need back. Yay, lever. I'm going to put this here. And this is just because I want... Oh, man. Yay, snapshot. Snapshot with texture pack. Always a bad idea. And now, as I'm recording this, about 2 minutes ago, it is Star Wars Day now. Yes, yes, now you know how late at night I record. So, hooray. So, I'm going to go ahead and start telling you where everything in this keep is. And as things go by, I'm probably going to be adding, you know, I'm going to be adding more and more houses to the village off camera. As well as I may start adding, you know, little guard posts all around. Because right now it's only guarded from way over on this side. Like, those are the only fortifications. An army could come strolling in here from, you know, this direction. So that's kind of why I'm going to do it like that. Do it. Sorry. Star Wars reference. Haha, prequel meme too. I'll try shit posting. That's a good trick. Oh god. When prequel memes is leaking. So what these little gaps are, and I actually need these trapdoors to make this work, is these are something called latrines. I'm going to be using this, and when I say latrines, what I mean is these are shitholes. Literally shitholes. So you go here, you squat down, you do your business, close it up. And the reason why I'm doing it like this, and also you'll notice there are two shitholes here. Nope. Is because privies were kind of a useful thing. Okay, so I need to set this and this. There we go. Oh. There we go. And I guess I'm going to have to do it like that. And we'll leave that other part snowy. But the reason why I'm doing it like this is because, you know, you're not really supposed to get up here unless, you know, you're invited up here. Okay, so this is the other latrine room. So, and you'll notice that over here, there is a latrine room here. Go. And yes, they would dig something similar to this out. That way, you know, it doesn't just stagnate here. Now, another technique they would do it to get rid of this, to get rid of, you know, the literal excrement, because you have to remember that's exactly what this is. This is an excrement hole. Is, you know, they would want to make it go. They wouldn't want it to sit here. But another technique they would have is they would actually have, you know, a latrine tower, like a dedicated tower that's sole job is being a latrine. And underneath it, I'm tempted to put a window here. Oh, that's all. I was about to say, that is a llama, not a polar bear. Should I put windows or arrow slits? I mean, let's put the arrow slits. We're going to be putting some battlements at the top of this with the turret, so does it make sense? And since this actually has walls to do it, I'm going to do it like this. Now, when I come in here that's what I'll be saying, maybe. Sorry about that. I could not resist. Now, actually, this wall is going to be just monolithic because, well, I could. No, I can't. I can't do the arrow slits. I'm going to have to do chain windows, or not chain, iron bar windows, because this is still too low to be using glass, at least on this part. And why did I get rid of that when I need it? I don't need the water bucket. I was just cleaning up some of the water in some areas. Whoops, that was not expected. Okay, so I need to know where this is. So I'm just going to put that there as a marker, and that means I have 6 blocks. So if I put that, which, you know, would be the first one that wouldn't be covered up, that means I have 5, so there we go. I can at least do the iron bars. because, you know, that's what I'd rather use here. Also because it's a little bit more accurate. You're not going to, you know, just smash some glass bars. Or glass bars, yeah. Because that's what those are. You're not going to just smash iron bars. Hulk smash it. The other thing... Ooh, I just realized you actually have to go to the first floor in order to use the latrine tower, unless I extend it over to here, which I may just do. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tiny little roof on this latrine section, I'll call it, because I think it's needed. Well, also because I think it'll just look a little bit better. Now, I'm curious as to how exactly I'm going to do this, because I'm going to have more bits of tower coming out this direction, just because of the nature of... I don't think anybody would want shit falling on their head, and also I don't think anybody wants, you know, shit landing where you're going to be doing your business. I think that'd just be unfortunate for everyone involved. Now, I'm not sure how many soldiers this is going to hold, but it's going to need to hold a fair amount, because in addition to manning the Barbican here, which means we need at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see how this gets astronomically high. 8. So as it stands, we need 8 people. 9, 10, technically. Under siege, you need at least that many. You probably need people to defend this section, which, mind you, I'm going to be putting a gate here as well, because that's going to be necessary, so that way, you know, people aren't just, you know, storming right up here, though. You know, good luck navigating this with a battering ram. I mean, this is already defended enough, so I can justify making this primarily a palace type keep. But the reason why I really like this is because this is actually perfect. This little bridge is perfectly symmetrical on this point. And I admit, I randomly built this tower. I didn't actually anticipate it being perfect like that. So when I measured it out, they wound up perfectly meeting about right, you know, about right here. So I just took it in a little bit to make it curved, because I think a curve would look better. And I think it does from way, way, way over here. And yeah, actually that does look amazing. It's not as good as I expected it to. I want it to curve a little bit more, but I just don't have that kind of room. At least not if I wanted to make it walkable. And let's see. So this is actually what's known as the buttery, or the kitchen. And honestly, it's just going to be at this level. There's not going to be anything particularly, like, I don't even need to put this part of the roof here, or a ceiling on it, because its ceiling is going to be the roof of this section. So I will have to take into consideration, I'll have to take that into consideration when I build it. Here I'm also not sure, because this part you're not going to get much use out of arrow slits. Like, even even onto that hill, you're not going to get much use out of them. I mean, you could, yes, but at the same... I'll go ahead and put them in, and if we decide we like them, I'll leave them. If not, then we won't leave them. Okay, this one's going to have this has absolutely no use, so I'm going to go ahead and make this a bit more decorative, but I'm still going to, make it defensible, because I honestly think it should be. So, or not defensible, but, in real life you'd be able to shoot through these. That's leaving me a bit triggered. And that's actually a joke. Don't take that seriously, okay, guys? And I'm not kidding when I say don't take it seriously. Okay, there we go. I'm also going to go ahead and fill this roof in. And I want to get at least the first floor done because, well, a lot of reasons actually. Just because I want to get this done, as much progress done as possible in this episode. Because I'm not entirely sure. Well, I know exactly when I'll be able to record this series again, the next episode. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do the next floors. The only floor I truly know exactly what I'm going to do is this floor. And like I said, that I could turn this into, you know what? I'll keep this going just because I don't want, snow pooling in this area. So I'll probably turn this part into an armory. I think that would work best. What I will need to do is I'm going to need to figure out where the chimney smoke should go. I may, put a furnace in on this block right here, and then, put the chimney coming straight up out of that. I'm going to use a cobble wall for that. I'm not going to do anything super crazy like, what's it called? Okay, so I want to put those there like that, like that. Oh, wow, that actually wound up turning out perfectly. I don't want to make them too crazy. I don't want to do anything too crazy like making a funky, janky, curvy chimney, because that's just, number one, not realistic, and also... Okay, so how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I want to do it like this. Like this. Like this. Like this. And I guess I'll put the iron bars here. As much as I hate it, you know what? No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to put anything here, since this is primarily defensive. Yeah, and that actually looks fine. Okay, so we're at least able to... Oops. If we shoot it... I know these aren't perfect, and I should have this floor up 1/2 step higher. But, if we're shooting out there, we'll be able to actually hit these things. So this is actually something you're doing. Like if you're on a PvP server where you're allowed to build but you're not allowed to grief or anything, or you're building a castle like where you are allowed to, for like a war server or an anarchy server, this is actually a very effective design for arrow loops because, up here you can't... if you're down here, you can't really see inside those, and even if you can, it's difficult to actually shoot through those. So if you're sitting over here, you've got free reign. Of course, like I said, that's if you're, dang it. That's if you're standing, like, at approximately this level. You know, they're very effective. They're super effective. Cue my Pokemon reference. Wow. I've referenced... Wow. So this is the... I'm pretty sure all of you can figure out that this is the stair tower for the Lord's Chamber, or actually, we'll call him the King, I guess. Best come at... When you come at the King, you best not miss. And also, I did not take that up high enough. High enough. So yeah, that's where we are. I'm debating how exactly I want to do this, in terms of how I want to get this to go up to the level I need it, but we'll worry about that later. So this section, I am honestly thinking that we should do the decorative stuff, because good luck attacking up that. Especially with this waterfall right there, and that one right there. Yeah, no, you're not attacking that. Like, I'm not even sure if your trebuchet can hit that. I'd hit it. Ugh. This is what happens late at night with me. Put those there. Oh, perfect. That is, wow, that's, when I said it perfect, I mean literally. That wound up being perfect measurements. So yeah, like I said, things are looking on the up and up for me. There we go. In terms of real life stuff, I'm probably going to start streaming soon. I'm not entirely sure when. It's mostly going to be on weekends, because so plans for Saturdays and Sundays being streaming. I'm not entirely positive as to what time, but I'll try and make that semi-convenient for people. It's not going to be like crazy early in the morning or crazy late in, well, maybe crazy late in the evening. But it'll start when I feel like it, and it'll end when I feel like it. But we're going to just try and build different things, and I'll try and make it so that it's one build per... You know what, since this is actually the residence, I can get away with putting glass here. But we're going to try and build just one thing per stream. So, oops. And when I say that, when I say a thing, I'm talking like a building or a... So, not like an entire village or anything like that. And for my first stream, I already have the building planned, so... Because I really, really, really want to use the new concrete blocks. Because those things are sexy. Oh my god. I'm so happy that we have white, seamless texture blocks. Like, the closest for a long time was the bone block. Well, when I say for a long time, I mean and this is also going to be glass. So we're going to go ahead, and I know some people are triggered by clear, but I want to use it, so by golly, I'll use it. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab a different glass pane. Let's use this one. Also, I may need to re-download this texture pack. Now, the reason why I want to... let's also grab... What's another good one to use? Red? Nah, that won't look good. White. Okay, so green and white. I think those will look good. So what we're going to need for this castle is we are going to need, so these two are going to be green, and I think the center one will be white. So we've already got our colors selected, so green and white, but we need a name for this castle. And we also are going to need the name of the family that lives here. Oh yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. And let's just take a look from, say, where you'd actually be looking at it from. So, around here. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah. Insert, I may turn this into a balcony. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you one of the things that I'm going to do when I finish this keep is and possibly while I'm doing it, I may do a lot of it off camera because it's going to be a lot of fiddling, which is different than piddling, but, you know. And I'm talking about, you know, the type of fiddling where you're just messing around, not, you know, fiddling with a bow and an actual instrument. This is going to be a nature area, or a Godswood as it would be called in Game of Thrones. And there's a reason why I do this, is because, number one, I like the nature areas, but also because it's something I will always put in my castles. Whenever I build a castle, there will always be a garden / nature area / Godswood. And part of that is I just really like having it. You know what? I think this I can put a turret here. Yeah, I can totally put a turret here. Okay, so it will be in this space, so okay. And I'm just going to kind of lay it out where I want it to go. Oop, that is not, I don't want it that. So we're going to put it like this, and I think I can't take this out too far. Nope. Which this is the really difficult part, because like I said, I really cannot take it out too far, or else it's going to just look completely unrealistic. Like, as it is, this is pushing it. There we go. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that is way too much. Okay. I really want to put a turret. I may have to put it up higher. Or I can put hoarding. Yeah, I could put hoardings here. I think that may be best, is if I put the hoardings here. Which normally I wouldn't do, but here it really does make sense here. And that'll be because reasons. To be entirely honest here. Because I think, well, maybe. Because that's going to be a little bit higher. And then, honestly, yeah, I think, yeah. Okay. So, that's kind of going to be that room, and it's just going to kind of slope into that. Well, it has to. So, I'm going to put only one entrance into the actual hoardings. And there's a reason why I'm going to do that. So really, it's just going to be this, and then I guess we'll make. Yeah, that can. This is going to be weird. I really hate how I designed this, but I have to live with it now. Now, the barracks are going to have to be a certain size, but I'm also going to have to... well, I've actually finished the first floor, technically. But I also have to ensure that the servants' quarters are a certain size as well. So that first floor may just be servants' quarters. The first floor of the actual residence. Which, yes, so the first floor of the residence is going to be servants' quarters. And I just realized how long I've been recording. You guys are getting a special long episode. A really long episode, actually. Though, are hoardings necessary here? Are they really necessary? I want to put them on just because they look so damned awesome. Okay. And yes, that is a reason to put hoardings on. Okay, so I want to put them here. Ugh. Nope, that is not the block I wanted. Anyway, so that's about where I'm going to lay them out at least. And before you ask, yes, they really would be kind of this far out. I guess I have to put... No, I don't have to do that. And actually, I should shift it over a little bit. Because I just realized you actually have to walk in on something solid. Now, the reason why you would do this and put hoardings on is because you want to shoot down, though, as we can tell, that's not entirely, that's not really an issue. I mean, it can help, sure, but it's not, the most necessary thing in the whole wide world. So yeah, I think this is going to be the servants' quarters. I'm going to have to figure out what exactly to... how exactly to deal with this part and the latrine tower for the rest of the... well, I could put it right here. I really could put it right here, though, occasionally seeing a turd nugget, come falling down out of this window. Oh, that mental image. But yeah, I'll let you guys know when I start streaming. Just come up with a name for the castle as well as the name for the family that lives here. Try and keep it, somewhat realistic, but also, name... Really think about the name. Try and make it descriptive and, because the feel, this may be a little bit more goth. Will it really be gothic? No, not really. I don't know. I still don't know the design style I'm going to go with, at least in terms of European, but definitely we're going to have a really high roof in here, so I guess you could classify it as gothic. But think of a name, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day, and see you next time. Bye.